This Thursday night props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the underdog, pick them in college or NFL, and win up to 20x in one game. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SGP at manscaped.com. That's code SG or quote. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SGP. We're also brought to you by VSiN. Sign up now and save 40% off their football season special when you use promo code SGP. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code SGP.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Want to shout out the Brat Stop, beautiful Kenosha, Wisconsin. Still rocking the shirt here. One of my kids' favorite shirts. Now that they're both at the age where dick jokes are hilarious. Which, by the way, if you're a father of girls, they also find the same humor that you found funny as a kid funny, which is it's a little shocking to me. But fart jokes funny. Ask me about my wiener jokes. That's funny.
Love the Brat Stop again. We got to make it out to the Brat Stop, Ryan. That is on our bucket list. I know Brat Stop. We've said we're coming. We got to figure out a time, a place. Maybe
we're not going to be like Dion and maybe proclaim it a little too early. When we're coming, we're actually gonna be coming. We're not gonna be a little whiskey dick.
Save it for the college football show. But yeah, Dion and the Buffaloes got waxed. We will break that down in the college football show. We had a little bit of a delay. We moved the college show to Tuesday night, and we're gonna do Thursday night props on Monday night. Unfortunately, there were no props out. Oh,
you're gonna give them the real reason? We weren't gonna play it up at the corporations were trying to take us down. Okay. The studio was taken offline. Yeah, no.
They unplugged us from the grid. They couldn't handle it.
Someone Colby tripped over the extension cord.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, at the rate at which the Sports Gambling Podcast is giving you first touchdown winners, of course they're going to be scared to list some props. Of course they're going to be scared to list first touchdown bets. We didn't even start off the show. Me cashing in Olamide Zacchaeus 30-1. What an incredible run for the first
Z-Man.
And perfect reason if you obviously check out the Thursday night, the Sunday night shows where we give out these first touchdown bets, but also make sure to sign up for the Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. So many people DM me, go, "Oh, I listened to the show. I forgot to write down the first touchdown bets." Hey, we got the list right there for you. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
And some features are being added. The grading record soon. Even maybe we might just have our units in there, Sean. might be able to see our units with your own eyes. No, I mean you won up to me from last weekend, dude. I said I'll do a 17-1 and a 35-1. I think you came back with a 40 and a 30-1.
Yeah, Ronnie Bell.
So that's a little bit of overload. I feel like I took week 2 on, you took it off. I took week 3 on, you took it, or I took week 3 off.
I mean, either way, we're up a tremendous amount of these first touchdown bets and
efficiency.
If you listen to the VSiN,
if we both hit in the same week, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
We got to spread it out. And if you listen to our VSiN show Friday nights, every Friday night, 9:00 Pacific on VSiN. If you listen to the VSiN show, we also gave out a couple of the Sunday day first touchdown bets that we liked. Came so close as I had Josh Oliver at 30-1. He ended up being the second touchdown, but actually the first touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. And perfect way to start with VSiN. We're brought to you by VSiN, VSiN.com/subscribe. Use the promo code SGP, 40% off with their football season special. Here's the deal. We are running a over at VSiN. they're running a contest to see which VSiN show can get the most subscriptions. Now, here's the thing: the winning show gets $1,000 Super Bowl future. I know what you're saying. Hey, how does that help me, the audience? Well, this is the best part, because we are going to cut you in on the potential winning. So simple formula: go to vsin.com/subscribe, use the promo code SGP, sign up, get in, 10% off the annual subscription as well. Whatever you want, vsin.com/subscribe, promo code SGP, then take that screenshot. So head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/VSiN, VSIN, submit your proof of purchase. Now, if our show wins and we get that $1,000 Super Bowl future, you will be contacted. We will run a poll. What are we going to spend this $1,000 on? And then, of course, if it hits, you get a piece of the action. So let's say it's only 5 guys plus me and Kramer. Maybe we'll kick in producer Dan over at the VSiN show. It's 8 guys. We hit an 8-1. I'm doing the math there, Ryan. That's $1,000 a piece. Plus, you get the VSiN package. You can see us.
How many
you
people
get the betting splits?
What do you think the number is we got to hit to win?
I don't think it's that crazy. So
really?
Again, vsin.com/subscribe.
Can we really undermine the process, and maybe they can email support over there if they want to change their code?
I did see one guy, a listener, mentioned he was going to unsubscribe from VSiN and then resubscribe using our code. Hey, whatever you got to do to get it done, get us across the finish line. But this is
that's actually better than just subscribing.
Yes, this would be a fun. This would be a fun way to just have it like a group sweat. That's what I'm looking for.
Come together as a people, like sitting in the sauna together.
Oh yeah,
total sauna bet. All right, what are you just? I know that are we getting a vote? Are we shareholders?
I would assume so, right?
All right, so our vote is equal to everyone else's vote.
Yes, it's a democracy.
So
right?
It's a big boardroom. So we're gonna get naked.
What would you vote for your Super Bowl future right now, Ryan?
Oh, well, there's a lot of value on the Giants. I don't know. I think like that's gonna be part of the interesting thing about the vote. Is the audience chalky?
I have a feeling our audience is going to talk us into
something crazy.
Titans are 75-1.
No,
I don't think.
No, they don't have a quarterback. Sean, stop it.
Here,
people are calling for Will Levis, but that's not a good thing.
Here, I think our cutoff is probably at the 50-1 range. Steelers at 50-1. I'm still kind of in on that Steelers team.
Steelers are that girl for you.
Well, who do you like better at 50-1? You got Packers, Steelers, Patriots at 70-1, Falcons 40-1, Seahawks 40-1.
I mean, I understand the Vikings are regressing in front of our eyes, but they're
0-3 though. First, you have to get to the playoffs first.
They're in the NFC.
1% of teams who've started 0-3 have made the playoffs.
They're in the NFC. The other teams in the division aren't exactly looking great. And they can score with anyone. They're 80-1.
Yeah. We'll see.
Silence.
I'm not.
I think it has to be. I mean, Sean's going to be really trying to campaign for this, I believe, because I think the smarter thing is still to take a long shot in the NFC, even though it looks like the top half of the NFC is better.
Well, you could talk me into the Bengals at 20-1. I think. Well, we'll see. Well, first
Chargers 30-1.
First off, we got to win the contest. So vsin.com/subscribe.
I trust our
SGP. Joining us on the line, you know him from the NFL Gambling Podcast, the Propcast, the NBA Gambling Podcast. Guy does it all. 5-tool player, Munaf.
Yes.
The Machine,
yes.
Manji. What's happening, Munaf?
Sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, did that wire go through in Jacksonville? Okay, thank you. All right. Sorry, guys, I was just busy buying some real estate in Jacksonville there, since the Texans own the city of Jacksonville now.
Yes,
but
yes,
it's my street name's called Tankdale Drive. Just making sure there. But what's going on, gentlemen? Great to be back with you Thursday Night Football.
Look at your Houston Texans hitting a nice juicy money line with Kramer. Although you were busting Kramer's chops, I think, in the company Slack. Kramer was on edibles.
Smoking my weed.
Kramer's he's a pen guy during the week. Edibles probably a weekend thing.
How did we miss the Tank touchdown parlay. Both tanks scoring in the same game.
I do remember one of my underdog best ball teams, of which I have many, not nearly as many as Ryan, but I do remember going, how awesome would it be to have two guys named Tank on your best ball team?
Yeah.
So I do have that somewhere buried in the pile of best ball teams.
I remember that.
But Munaf, how's your start to the NFL season? I think you, especially last game, kind of a pseudo breakout game, almost breakout game for CJ Stroud. I think you have to be happy about your Texans. But how have you done overall? How you feeling this coming into week 4 here?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Props have been really good to me so far over the first 3 weeks. Sides and totals have been there as well. So I usually try to identify one total that I like every single week. I usually tweet that out on my X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've had a pretty good read so far on the board. But yeah, last week was really good. Tank Dell has been my guy. I think I need to purchase a jersey because he's single-handedly cashed me a 5-1 anytime a touchdown ticket in week 2 against the Colts. And then last week, plus 390 against the Jags. So I'm curious to see what that price is going to be this week for Tank Dell to find the end zone. But yeah, pretty happy with how the NFL season is going so far, boys.
And it ramps up. I hope everyone is prepared. And I have like an official PSA on. Stay tuned for the pick show Wednesday, 8:30 Pacific. But guys, make sure you warn everyone that football starts early for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, we got some.
Not just this weekend, guys.
We got some London games
in a row.
Yeah, cannot wait to explain to my wife why we're waking up at 5:30 on Sunday. Got to get that early action. And
Falcons are playing. Let's go.
I know. Shout out to Munaf and Lanti from the from the NFL Gambling Podcast. They've been doing a pregame show, and I saw some of the props you guys gave out. I didn't see what the official record was, but that was quite the heater. Now we have like put together a kind of a mega pregame show. We have we have a fantasy segment on the fantasy channel.
Yeah, I mean,
prop segment on the NFL channel, and then leading up to our show 9 a.m. Pacific. But wait, when does it officially start? 8 a.m.
Well, we're still working it out.
Okay.
We're like creating some fine software, refining the process. I don't know. Right now we're starting Munaf and Lante have been starting at 10:30 on the East Coast.
Perfect.
And just grinding. It sounds like they might need some more time for winners because they didn't have enough time for all the winners. But yeah, it's the pre game, and then we got the fantasy lounge, and then us. And by the way, the pregame show has been lit. So if you're on the fence about joining,
yes,
it's been electric. Chat is lit.
Yes, and you can call into our show, youtube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Answer your pregame questions. Get to whatever you guys want to get to leading up to pregame. Ryan releases his first half parlay.
Yes.
We'll chime in.
Maybe I'll give out maybe I'll do a fake one this week and cancel.
Set up, cancel.
But yeah, it's and by the way, can we get a quick breaking news before we get to the actual game? Trevor Siemian has landed in New Jersey.
Oh, there we go.
For some reason, Adam Schefter is tracking this like some sort of missile is traveling through time zones. But yeah, Trevor Siemian. Wow. Well done, Josh. Trevor Siemian has entered the building.
Yes. Josh just showing the Trevor Siemian Jet stats. 1 start, 3 for 6 passing with 3 yards and 2 sacks.
It would be funny to take the clip from Hard Knocks where they're getting excited about that throw and the defensive meeting room and just replace it with a Trevor Siemian like duck. Someone on that, please, immediately. All right, let's talk Lions and Pat. I thought this game was only on Thanksgiving. What are we doing here? This is making me feel like the leaves should be orange.
And of course, Underdog Fantasy. Head over there to get down on the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em, where you can win up to 20x or even more. If you listen to the Sunday night recap show, now that they have these spicy props,
danger.
Cameron Kerr hit a 90-1 over on Underdog Fantasy, going 5 for 5 with his favorite higher and lower. Underdogfantasy.com for the NFL Pick'ems. If you haven't already, promo code SGPN from now until October 4th. Still time to get in. 100% deposit match up to $500. I keep giving out Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. It's It's just easy money. He gets it like 60-70% of the time.
Sean, you got to be careful giving out the same thing over and over again.
Why?
People get upset.
Hate winners.
People
come
get
on,
upset.
what are we talking about?
People get upset.
Well, they're going to be really upset because I'm starting it off. Give me Luke Musgrave higher. 35.5 receiving yards. I've been pounding the table for Luke Musgrave, and the guy keeps coming through. The Lions are actually pretty bad against the tight end. That was like now it's probably a combination of Arthur Smith just loving Jonnu Smith and him going out of his way to work him into the game plan. Kyle Pitts actually having 4 catches, but they lead the league in most fantasy points allowed to the tight end position, and that was without playing Travis Kelce week 1. So I do think this is a good matchup. If I had to guess right now, Tuesday morning, I don't think Christian Watson plays. Luke Musgrave, he's getting the targets. It does seem like Jordan Love has a good connection with him. So Luke Musgrave over 35.5 receiving yards. I love it. Munaf, what's your first one? And how do you feel about Luke Musgrave?
I had this on my list as well, Sean. So a double agreement here. I mean, you nailed it, right? The Lions just have not been very good against the tight end position. They've allowed at least 43 receiving yards by committee, right, to the tight end position. I know you talked about it week 1. Travis Kelce wasn't there, but I think it was Noah Gray and Blake Bell that filled in for Travis Kelce in week 1. And then we saw in week 2, Noah Fant had 56 receiving yards. Colby Parkinson had 41 in that game as well. And Will Dissly, I think, had 35 in that game as well. So all 3 tight ends of the Seahawks went over that total. And then last week, like you mentioned, Jonnu Smith, 37, and then Kyle Pitts also had 41 for the Atlanta Falcons. So seems like a slam dunk here. It's 100% hit rate. I'm with you. Higher 35.5. Higher 35.5 here for Luke Musgrave.
Can I give you 100% hit rate?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys did watch the game that Brian Branch was playing. I believe he came up in the context of defensive rookie of the year on the post game show, maybe the pregame show. I forget, but I mean, he had 11 solo tackles last week.
Yeah, he's having a great
in a game where they were playing a run first team. It's a very similar matchup. I think it's a more similar matchup than people would be giving it credit for. The line is
this price is low.
The line is 3.5 here. Again, didn't have to do any sort of deep dive to come across this one. I mean, he's played 3 games in the NFL. He's had 2 solo tackles, 3 solo tackles, and 11 solo tackles. The first 2 teams passed the shit out of the ball. The Falcons ran the ball. I think Brian Branch is going to be in a similar situation where he's going to be involved in a lot of this stuff, especially if Aaron Jones is playing. He seems like a fun mirror for Mr. Aaron Jones or Mr. Musgrave. So yeah, smash this one. Not really sure if they're watching the game. 3.5. So, and by the way, like the solo tackles more than the 5.5 tackles and assists.
I'm glad you got a take on that.
Well, he's more of an out on an island kind of guy. So he's tackling guys in space.
Yes. I see Dick Puncher in the chat. His prop he called in on hit. He said, y'all better have Love over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I was going back and forth. I'm actually just going to go Jordan Love higher, 225.5 passing yards, because it does seem like the way you beat this Lions team. It's weird. Like last year, their run defense was a huge liability. Now maybe it was just because the Falcons are kind of one dimensional with their offense and that they scheme the shit out of shutting down the run. But I think Jordan Love at home, him to get 225.5 passing yards, I feel pretty good about it. I think there's going to be some opportunities again to the tight end. Romeo Doubs continues to surprise people, and I do think Aaron Jones will play, and I do think he will be involved in the receiving game. So easy to rack up some screen yards there as well. So Jordan Love, I'm going passing yards. I'm probably going to lean touchdowns as well, but my pick is Jordan Love higher, 225.5 passing yards. Munaf, what else you got here?
I'm going to go over to Jared Goff sucks silent. I'm going to take the lower on his passing yards. That's currently at 257.5 right now. Currently,
I was just playing the island theme music there.
Yeah, you got it. You got a bit of do. Look, they were putting up that graphic of him not having X or no interceptions and X amount of pass attempts, and now he's done it for 2 straight weeks. So But he's played in 5 career games against the Packers, and he's gone over this projection just once, and that goes all the way back to 2018 when he was with then the LA Rams. But in a uniform as a quarterback for the Lions, 4 career games, 246, 238, 137, and 224. And no quarterbacks have done this yet in the first 3 weeks of the regular season against the Packers. Now I know they haven't played the greatest competition as far as quarterbacks go. Have the Packers? They played Justin Fields. They had Desmond Ridder. And then they also had a combination of Derek Carr and Jameis Winston last week. But I just think this is going to be a game where I think Jared Goff does struggle. Maybe they rely more on the running game here, but I just don't think he gets over this projection of 257.5. So I'm going lower on Jared Goff on his passing yards.
Yeah, that's actually my third one, so I'll jump in right there.
Oh, wow.
I'm with you.
Jared Goff down the road together over here.
Jared Goff outdoors, Jared Goff on the road. Jared Goff, now that he's rekindled his love with throwing interceptions. Also, I do think it's worth keeping an eye on the Jair Alexander injury. I know he didn't play last week.
Back injury, right?
Is it? I thought he was. It seemed like he was close.
Back,
perhaps. He's back, or
no? It's a back injury.
Oh, it's a back injury.
Those can, as someone who also suffers from some back stuff, those can be. You gotta get him some.
Gotta get him some back medicine. He needs a bacchiotomy.
Hey, bro, have you tried the CBDs?
So keep an eye on him, because if he plays, that certainly will really help the Packers pass defense. But I thought they did a decent job, and it's a division game, primetime game. This is just tough to go on the road on a short week in a hostile environment and light it up in the air. So I'm with you. I'm lower on Goff's passing yards.
All right. So it was really a disgusting act, us all agreeing on Musgrave.
Okay.
But I thought I was going to be agreeing with someone on Laporta as well. I like him. Yeah. I'd play him to the moon again. I don't.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right. So Laporta higher than 42.5 receiving yards. I think he becomes this interesting weapon where you can't really take him away because of the running game, and you can't really take him away because of Amon-Ra St. Brown and the weapons on the outside. I think he's going to be operating in a lot of similar single coverage, and unless you think the Packers linebacking core is dynamic enough, which I think I think Quay Walker's having a decent year, but I don't think anyway. Sam Laporta is just he's the second option in every pass play. It seems like. He kind of needed a big one last week to get over, but he's the second option. And I think this is going to be one of those games where to your point, Goff is going to maybe struggle on the tougher outside throws. And so again, scheme him open. Laporta's the guy.
Yeah. Laporta also, he had that big touchdown. He seems to be breaking the trend of not being able of rookie tight ends not having an impact
5
early.
catches in 3 straight games to open the season is some sort of notable achievement.
No, he's what people were trying to say Kyle Pitts was.
Where'd he go to college?
He's got to be Iowa.
Yeah. How do they do it all the time?
It's just every single time.
The good ones go to Iowa.
Munaf, what do you got? What's another player prop you like?
Yeah, I kind of go to the left field here. I'm going to take the kicker for the Packers, Carlson, to go over higher 5.5 kicking points here. All 3 kickers that have faced the Lions this season, they've gone over this projection here. And it seems like that Matt LaFleur, is taking the points versus, risking it and going for it on 4th downs. And I know that he's been very reliable, at least for the first 3 weeks for the Packers kicking game. 5.5 is not a lot here. That's 2 field goals and a extra point here. Or even just 2 field goals gets it done for you here. So I'm going to go higher on Andres Carlson, Packers kicker, higher 5.5 kicking points for this game.
Well, maybe if you used Josh McDaniels math, you could get there. Get there.
Yeah, quick. We should. Whatever the Raiders kicker is, we should just take his.
Oh man,
take his higher. Yeah.
And there is, we haven't gotten to the Week 4 picks podcast, but there is a coaching matchup we really want to lock in on. You have Josh McDaniels versus Brandon Staley. It is the coaching decisions that will be happening in that game. It's going to be an electric environment there in SoFi.
There's going to be
2 head coaches going head to head.
Can't wait to see the eye gouge in the old fashioned defense.
Oh, the 3 Stooges.
I mean, there are at least 2 of the Stooges.
Oh yeah.
I've given out 3.
You've given out 3.
Well, I agreed on the Musgrave one. I gave out Branch over or higher 3.5 solo tackles. Laporta higher than 42.5 receiving yards. If you would like another one,
sure. I'm always down for more.
Well, I mean, I would go and again, I'm not so sure that Jordan Love is going to be slinging it all over the place. And when I see that they're going to dangle a pass and rush.
Yeah.
Combined total at 247.5. I watched a lot of him against the Falcons, and I do think that this team seems to have success in spurts. And if you can take away the first option, it really creates problems for him. I believe he's something ridiculous like bottom 5 and off target throws, which means interceptions loading. I just think they're going to run the rock against Detroit because that's what you should do. I'm not sure why Atlanta abandoned that last week, and I don't think he sniffs this 247.5. Pat.
So you're fading me?
Yeah. You took the combo?
No, I took the higher on Jordan Love passing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fading the fact that they're giving him a 23.5 yard, or even there's even added to that, so 25 yards on the ground. That seems off.
Yeah, I mean, 225.5 just felt too low. You can have a bad day passing and still get 2.
Sure, I mean, I don't think he's going to get any rushing yards, and I think the more likely outcome is that he goes for like if you said under 200 over 300, I'm saying under 200. So,
all right, lower on Jordan Love. I'm going higher, battling it out.
No, we're not battling.
What do you mean?
Different prop.
No, it's essentially the same prop though.
It's not the same prop.
Oh, okay, because you have the rush yards worked in there. As well.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
That's part of the handicap.
Munaf, it's pretty similar.
You're giving me 10% that he's not going to get on the ground.
That's true. So then why not? I mean, you don't want to play fade his solo rushing yards.
No.
Okay.
It's only 16
and a half. Yeah.
This is 20.
Okay. So
23 yards more on the. I mean, again, basic arithmetic can sometimes bring you to some value.
So this is some market dynamics.
No, this isn't about. This market is controlled by Underdog.
Okay.
I can't see what's going on, so the dynamics are hard to understand.
You know what's easy dynamics to understand? Little Caesars, perfect pairing for game day.
Ooh.
Food. Oh man, I had a hell of a night last night. The Eagles are winning, cashing first touchdown bets, chomping down on that delicious Little Caesars pizza with that delicious pretzel crust. Josh, if you can just zoom in on the pretzel crust alone.
Oh no,
finally broke my cookie dough brownie cherry.
Enhance.
That thing was
enhance.
It's just you don't want. You don't want to be overwhelmed. You want a lead pipe lock when it comes to game day food, and that's what Little Caesars is. Keep it simple. I do. I just get the pepperoni on the pretzel crust. Well, why is it taking us so long to figure out the pretzel crust? Get some of those Little Caesar wings. The wings are as a wing snob, I can tell you these Little Caesars wings hang, especially in LA. Not a great wing place, but luckily we're close to a Little Caesars. Get some of those Caesar wings, and they don't. It's not an official recommendation by Little Caesars, but the buttery sauce that you dip the crazy bread in also works with Little Caesars wings. Now they will not advertise that. But I'm telling you, that's a Little Caesars pizza.
My daughter figured out that the butter,
the butter
goes with everything.
Yes. And the 4 quarter calzone. Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL and the official pizza sponsor of SGPN. First touchdowns, baby.
You know what I like about that is that they're helping us pace ourselves. You get one quarter of the calzone for each.
I'm gonna try. Maybe that's next time we order Little Caesars, Ryan. We actually space it out with, but it's tough because once you get the calzone going, you're gonna wait the rest of the time.
Part of finishing the calzone involves eating it before everything cools off.
Yeah, I think my real strategy is just eat as much as I can till I'm stuffed, which is probably like 3/4 of the calzone, and then just muscle it down after the 4th quarter. That's probably my strategy.
You got to finish the cold stuff. Like you can't be taking it home. Or no. That's if you've ever hung out and watched games, that's when Sean starts aggressively pushing leftovers on the guests.
Yes.
I don't know. Right. Josh might be hungry. He needs a lunch break. He just ordered like 10 calzones and like 50 breadsticks for lunch. I don't know. You guys need to give him a lunch break.
Well, Patty C is coming through.
Yeah, you Patty C. We got Patty C. Will put down some little C's. All right, Munaf, you're on the clock. You're the guest. How say you first touchdown bets? What are we looking at? What do you like?
Yeah, I kind of had to go. I hated going chalky here, but it kind of seems like the theme for the Detroit Lions has been like finding Amon-Ra St. Brown in the red zone because he scored the first 2 touchdowns for this Lions team in 2 of the first 3 weeks. But I'll throw out the both tight ends here first. Luke Musgrave, first touchdown, and Sam Laporta, first touchdown. I think those guys are going to be primed to have big weeks here for their respective teams here. And again, like we mentioned, the Lions are mightily struggling against the tight end position. So I think this might be a great opportunity for Luke Musgrave to be that first touchdown scorer in this game. That number is currently around, I think I saw it 14-1 13-1. And then also go Josh Reynolds, 14-1 as well for the Detroit Lions. I think there will be an emphasis on covering Brown this week for the Packers secondary. I think that should open up opportunities for Josh Reynolds. I think those week 1 or week 2 where they were able to find him down the seam where he was absolutely wide open for this Lions team. I think Jared Goff can get him the football. So at 14-1, I don't hate that. And then the last one I'll give out, give me Packers defense 35-1. Pick 6 in incoming for Jared Goff sucks island. Stay on brand.
What happened with Josh Reynolds last game? Was it just game flow? Because I thought he would be involved. He was out there 77% of the snaps.
Yeah,
Kramer, you had an eye on that game probably more than I did. But what happened with was Josh Reynolds not getting anything?
I think the Atlanta defense is better than you're giving them credit for still, and I think Amon-Ra St. Brown was better than Amon-Ra St. Brown was just useful.
Yeah,
and maybe so was Sam Laporta. I think it's more likely that we see Laporta turn into the number 2 option, no matter the game plan, whether it's a run heavy or pass heavy. I just think he's kind of forming into the guy that they can't take away. And so, yeah, I think Reynolds. I think Reynolds is the guy that has games where he pops up randomly and then he goes away, and he's probably the guy that's most impacted by Jamison Williamson when he comes back. I gave him the Williamson,
classic old guy.
Yeah, instead of Williams. I think he's one of those, like he's the classic DFS play that's probably going to be a little overvalued for a while. Maybe he doesn't do a ton, and then he comes back. But remember, chemistry with Jared Goff. That's why he's fun in this market.
All right, Kramer. For me, I will go. I know Munaf gave out the other tight end, Sam Laporta. I'm going against the grain. Give me Brock Wright, 50-1. I don't think he has logged a catch so far this season, which will scare people off from playing him. But no, actually, he's got 2 for 17. What am I talking about? He's
handicap. He doesn't see targets or the ball, so
that'll scare people off. But as I know, as a deep tight end handicapper, he's on the field for 40% of the snaps pretty consistently. At 50-1, you have to roll the dice here with a little Brock Wright. And then the other guy I really like, Craig Reynolds, 25-1. He has been seeing the field more now with David Montgomery being out. I don't know if they truly trust Jahmyr Gibbs yet. I know they're trying to get him involved, but I don't think they've really figured out what they want to do in the red zone as far as rushing. I know Goff had a rushing touchdown for them, but I'm going Craig Reynolds, 29% of the snaps. He's got a red zone carry, like the price. And I think he has a chance to end up being getting some goal line red zone carries for them. On the Green Bay side, and let me see who in the chat was on the same page. But Andrew Mikola, he is also on Dontavian Wicks at I'm seeing 28-1. He had 66% of the snaps, 4 catches, 45 yards. He's just involved. So I think at that price, 28-1, really like it. And then of course, Luke Musgrave, 3 red zone targets already, has yet to connect. Jordan Love clearly likes him, 13-1. That's as chalky as I'll go, but I think it might be worth it for Luke. Kramer?
Just to add to what you were saying, Wicks also one of the few guys on the team who have had a red zone target in every game. Actually, here's the nugget, Sean. He's the only Packer to see a red zone target in every game this year. Write that down.
Yes.
So when you're having your conversation with your buddies about the good picks, you have that nugget to share with them. All right. I think this card started for me with the 2 tight ends. So I put Laporta and Musgrave in there at 13-1 each. Didn't want to get cute. And then honestly, the Packers journey.
Wait, Ryan.
What?
We could have a spy in the building because.
What do you mean?
What is happening? I have my underdog window open, and since all of us were on Luke Musgrave, 35.5 receiving yards, the projections refreshed, and it's 37.5 receiving yards.
We do.
We're moving numbers.
No, they're actually this is
38.5.
Yeah. Wow. So again, that's why you got to subscribe. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast.
Note to self: put in before show.
Yeah.
So these, I don't know. I feel like it's the people at the bottom.
The offices are bugged. Well, also we're broadcasting, but still.
Well, yeah, it's like in Mad Max when he lets the water. I just let the water out before I took my own water. I let the people down at the bottom have it. No, not again. That's crazy how much some of these numbers moved. That's why you got to get in early. Influencers. So. Again, Laporta and Musgrave were both sitting there at 13-1. Took those, and I honestly I understand, and I don't know if Wicks is in the Watson role or what happens if Watson comes back. Which, by the way, doesn't look like he's coming back. Why they didn't just put him on the IR where you get to put. Some of these teams are so dumb, or he's a pussy and not recovering as fast as they expected. But everything we heard in the offseason was Jaden Reed was doing special stuff and expect him to be involved in some packages. Weeks 2 and 3, those packages have been around the red zone. He's had 3 and 4 red zone targets the last 2 weeks. I don't think he overlaps with what Watson would do anyway. And again, like, he is the guy that they love scheming up into these situations in the red zone. So I'm going to take 2 13-1 guys, which is very unlike me. Jaden Reed, also both positive Jordan Love passing touchdown situations. So I'm really zagging on myself. Here's the fun one. And you were so close, Sean. You were so close to take Craig Reynolds, but the right guy to take at 55-1 is one Bam Knight, aka Zonovan Knight.
Has he been getting work?
Already got some work, picked up off the street, immediately getting work, which means he's better than Craig Reynolds. I believe he is going to be the goal line back, Sean. He's 50, and let me put this in before this price goes down. But first touchdown, 55-1 for Zonovan Knight on the Lions side. Wish there was a good option like that on the Packers, but.
Yeah, no. Bam Zonovan Knight.
Bam's a great name. Great nickname.
All right, we got our DGen parlay coming up, and it's brought to you by Manscaped. Oh, man, Manscaped is getting in the beard business. Leave Munaf up here for a second, because Munaf, I know you're a fellow manscaper, and as guys who trust our below the belt grooming to Manscaped, why would we not trust our above the belt grooming to Manscaped? I mean, look at that beautiful beard Munaf has. You got to if you're gonna be grooming that beard, look at that. Show off that beard, Munaf. They have the Beard Hedger, high tech piece of art in a travel size package with a long lasting battery. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right, and Munaf is one of those one of the models, like, showing off, but he's showing off his sick beard. The Beard Hedger to me is a game changer. They also have the Handyman skin safe technology. Handyman is great. It gives you that wet, dry, shave look. It helps get you that stubbly, hunky look, like the Jimmy G, whatever he's got going beard wise, where it's not a full beard, but he's got that like constant stubble cooking up. The Handyman skin safe is perfect for that. And Manscaped, perfect for all your below the belt and now above the belt grooming. Manscaped.com, promo code SGP, 20% off and free shipping. Your face and balls will thank you.
Thought you were going to ask Munaf to take his pants off there for a second. That would have been awesome.
That's a company inspection. You guys been anyone over 1.5?
I should note that I guess there's a chance David Montgomery plays this week, so keep an eye on that. But assuming he doesn't, then we're playing Bam Knight. I mean, have you heard anything that he's going to play? I know he had a limited practice.
Who?
David Montgomery.
No, I thought he was out for multiple weeks. So he
had a limited practice. So
okay.
Better than a DNP, but it did sound like they could hold him out. So unclear.
Yeah, I was not. Yeah, I didn't see it going that way for him.
Got it.
Kramer, what do you got for the Degen parlay?
Hold on, we got. You go first. We might have.
What's going on?
The YouTube. If the YouTube could confirm they can hear us right now, that would be awesome.
All right. We'll kick it over to Munaf to start first. Munaf, what do you got there?
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. We talked a lot about Luke Musgrave and we talked about Sam Laporta. I think both of those tight ends will have big games for their respective teams. So I went 50 plus receiving yards for both tight ends and for them to be anytime touchdown scorers, 22-1.
Ooh. All right. Kramer, are you ready with yours? Cause I'm going back.
Are you reconfiguring?
Forth. I'm dabbling. I got a couple. I don't want to be completely locked into this, but let me see.
Well, let's talk it out. I think the audience likes when they hear you adjust your shit on the fly.
I'm leaning to Brock Wright anytime touchdown with a Packers money line to get some reverse correlation. That's only 30-1. Is that Degen enough for the audience?
Sure. I think a winner is Degen.
Yes.
Like I think sometimes you maybe lately you've been a little, maybe since we started doing the tape measure bit, you've been a little bit too focused on how long your Degen parlays are. And you have to remember that sometimes it's just about the motion in the ocean.
All right. You're right. We'll go back to basics here. Give me Brock Wright. Well, the thing about Manscaped is they do help make your parlays seem longer.
Yes.
So I'll get a little parlay boost for Manscaped.
Especially your third leg.
Nice line there. Munaf. Brock Wright anytime touchdown, Green Bay money line, little reverse correlation, 30-1, easy enough. Kramer, how say you?
Yeah, I hate everything about the internet right now. Yeah, no, Munaf nailed it earlier. It's hard for me to not look at Sam Laporta. They're still dangling that touchdown price at +2. What did you get it at, Munaf? Or you got 2 touchdowns?
I think it was +235.
So all right, down to 220 on the anytime touchdown. But again, I just don't see who is going to overtake him as the second option in the passing game in the red zone. So hopefully Goff's small hands can get it done. I also as I'm looking at the screen, it now +210 on Sam Laporta anytime touch. This is fucking unbelievable.
Moving markets.
This is fucking. I mean, Sean, they got the chat's not even. There's a slight delay on YouTube. There's got to be a bug in the studio. Someone's got to be on the
latency. They're getting ahead of it.
All right, so I'm hitting refresh on my screen now because now everything froze up. And look at this. In the same game parlay system, +260 for Sam Laporta. So if we just won, I'm done ignoring the fact they clearly want Jaden Reed is like Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, they go out of their way to scheme him up.
Out of their way to scheme this guy up. He's +255. And then the last piece of it, I'm kind of riding with you. Feel like the opinion to have is Packers money line in this one. Just can't, sharps can't get how are you going to lay points with Detroit out here in the grass? So those 3 items, Sean, they're going to pay out 21-1.
Okay.
So again, hopefully you can realize that it's not all about the length of the parlay.
I like this one in Kaysen Hightower in the chat saying Musgrave last touchdown parlayed with Sam Laporta first touchdown.
Oh, you devil.
181-1.
I did try that out.
Oh my God.
I did try out a K Dot and Rams defense first touchdown parlay.
Oh man, that if I would have done that would have been an incredible sweat. That would not have hit. But Zacchaeus parlayed with
fuck
my
you, man. That would have
first touchdown bets. I would have felt alive there because it was that later game and it didn't. I don't think they had a touchdown in the first half.
No, that was a long sweat. And how did we not have no touchdown score? Come on, guys.
Well, it didn't hit, but still.
I know, but the sweat.
The sweat.
There's nothing like FOMO on a no touchdown score primetime game prop.
Yes, 100%.
Because once it's happening and you're in the second half, it's like fuck. All right, because I saw some people also had the tie I saw one of our listeners had tie 1400 plus 1400 in that game. So
Tie's always
nice.
fun.
Well, also because if you remember, last second field goal.
Yes.
So extra sweat.
Little bit of a sweat there. Munaf, where can people catch you? What do you got coming up this week?
Ref Report's back.
It's back.
Yeah, been working on that yesterday, and I need to finish it up today. Just waiting for assignments to come out, so look out for that on the website. But yeah, Propcast, NFL Gambling Podcast. We're crushing it so far this season. So if you haven't already subscribed to the NFL Gambling Podcast and the Propcast, and guys, I know you guys don't care, but NBA season is right around the corner for us.
What? What is that?
We'll be wrapping up content for that as well. But
all right, that's all the NBA music we got. Thank you, Munaf, for calling in. Make sure you smash. And hey, sports gambling or vsin.com/subscribe, promo code SGP, and then enter in the contest. Let's take this contest down, and everyone gets a taste. Everyone eats. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/vsin.
Let's get maybe we get Ben DiNucci's face on it. Everybody eats.
Everyone eats. Ben DiNucci. Feast for the whole family.
The Ben DiNucci Super Bowl special.
I want to do it just because I want to see who the audience votes for. That is going to be going to be a huge
Ben
fun.
DiNucci did play for Seattle,
and he did talk shit on the Cowboys after Travion Diggs blew out his ACL. He goes, I kept asking them, why are we doing these one-on-one drills?
Yeah, you should check
Ben
out
DiNucci with the "I told you so."
He's like
the Cowboys.
XFL has a better practice schedule.
Well, now it's XFL, USFL. More on that when spring football returns.
Equal partners.
We will be back. Doubleheader Tuesday night with college football, 8:30 Pacific. If you're on YouTube.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second Money Green. He's Ryan.
Shout out to the Brat Stop.
Kramer. Let it ride.